The old game waits under the white, deeper than frozen grass. Down at the frost line, it waits. To return when the birds return. It starts to wake in the south, where it's never quite stopped, where winter is a doze of hibernation. The game wakes gradually, fathering vigor to itself as the days lengthen late in February and grow warmer. Old muscles grow limber, young arms throw strong and wild. Clogged vein systems in veteran oaks and left fielders both unstop themselves, putting forth leaves and line drives in Florida's March. Migrating north with the swallows, baseball and the grasses first green. Enter Cleveland, Kansas City, Boston. Donald Hall.
Toward the corner in left field, it's going to be up to Bo Jackson to try to stop Reynolds from scoring. He can't do it. Yes, he can! I don't believe it! He made an absolutely perfect throw. It looked like there was no way he was going to get it.
The bottom of the 12th. Up the middle, can Smith get it? Ozzie dives. We have time. Oh my goodness, what a play, Ozzie Smith.
Bo Jackson on the run, makes a diving catch, a tremendous play by Bo Jackson.
Bill Veeck once said that baseball must be a great game because the owners haven't been able to kill it. Despite baseball's troubles, the spirit of the game asserted itself. Baseball became more competitive than ever. In one 10-year period, 10 different teams won the World Series, something that had never happened before. Last place teams one year made and won the World Series the next. And as it turns out, even with free agency, players stay with their teams just as long as they always did. In the 1991 series between Minnesota and Atlanta, 5 of 7 games were settled by a single run, and 4 of those came with the last at-bat.
Lemke hits it into left field. Here comes Justice. Save!
3 games went into extra innings, and 2 turned on spectacular plays at the plate.
He is out. Pendleton is tagged down on another great play by Brian Harper.
In 1992, baseball became truly international. The Toronto Canada Blue Jays won the World Series. Their manager was Cito Gaston, a black man.
Nothing worries me about the future of baseball. I'm worried about any number of things, but this is one thing I never, ever worry about. When I read in the papers that escalating salaries or gambling are going to be the end of baseball, I love it because I've been hearing this or been reading about this for 130 years.
I don't think you can't do too much because we have done a whole lot of things to hurt it. But it's a type thing that I don't care how, but you can't kill it. You just can't kill baseball because when you get ready to kill baseball, something gonna come up, somebody gonna come up to snatch you after the Black Sox scandal, here comes Ruth. I heard Ruth hit the ball. I'd never heard that sound before. And I was outside the fence, but it was a sound of the bat that I had never heard before in my life. That was Ruth hitting the ball. And the next time I heard that sound, I'm in Washington, D.C. I rushed out, and there was Josh Gibson hitting the ball. And I heard this sound again. Now, I didn't hear it anymore. I'm in Kansas City, and I heard this sound one more time that I hadn't heard only twice in my life. Now, you know who this is? Bo Jackson swinging at that, and now I heard this sound. It was a thrill for me. I said, here it is again. I heard it again. I've only heard it 3 times in my life, but now I'm living because I'm going to hear it again one day if I live long enough.
It is played everywhere, in parks and playgrounds and prison yards, in back alleys and farmers' fields, by small children and old men, raw amateurs and millionaire professionals. It is a leisurely game that demands blinding speed. The only game in which the defense has the ball. It follows the seasons, beginning each year with the fond expectancy of springtime and ending with the hard facts of autumn. It is a haunted game in which every player is measured against the ghosts of all who have gone before. Most of all, it is about time and timelessness, speed and grace, failure and loss, imperishable hope, coming home.
The idea that home plate has a little roof. A little roof, it has a little roof. It's a little house. It brings us back to where we're safe and where we care and where we're cared about. Where we're loved. Coming home on a baseball diamond's pretty darn dramatic. You feel immense relief to have gotten out of all those hazards out there. Between first and third is hazardous territory. And then third home is joy. You're out of trouble, you're coming back, and you're running toward the home team dugout. You can see them, and they're all grinning, and they're glad to see you, and their arms are out, and you come across that thing. It's pretty big league stuff.
It's passed along from parents to children. My father was a football fan, but my mother was a baseball fan, so I went to ball games with my mother. She passed along her sense of the game. I'll pass it along to my son. It is a family heirloom. It is America's family heirloom because it goes back so far. But the thing that's most important about that is that we respect the people of other generations in baseball, perhaps more than we respect other generations in other fields in this country. We've been called a disposable society, but we don't dispose of Babe Ruth. We don't dispose of Walter Johnson. We treat them as though they are equals and contemporaries though they're dead. That's a very special thing to hand on to children.
Baseball, because of the sense of its continuity over the space of America and the time of America. This is a place where memory gathers. It's a place that we can return to. And it's a place that we can even imagine existing in the future. I think we have some hope that baseball might look like baseball 100 years from now.
The fun of recalling something that you saw 5 days ago or 5 years ago or a lifetime ago, knowing that that's there to be plucked back into your life in an instant, oh God, that's rare. Baseball means what those of us who hold it in our heart need it to mean. It can be a game, a pastime, or it can be something by which we measure the seasons of our lives. Or it can be something that serves metaphorically for the battles, the wars, the triumphs, and the tragedies of any form of human conflict. I'm content for it to be a game. And I think that more than anything else, it tells me that there's something in the world that I can count on, and that's never going to let me down.
I know so many times at the ballpark when I'm sitting with my kids, I look at them and their excited faces and the fact that they love baseball just like I do, and remember the days when I was at Ebbets Field with my own father, who died before they even had a chance ever to know him, and he was the most wonderful character, Michael Francis Aloysius Kearns, with this optimistic view of life. And I know that they know him through baseball, and sometimes when I close my eyes, it's almost as if he's there and not my kids, and then it all gets mixed up together. If there is a magic in baseball, I'm sure that's what it is.
The feeling of connection, bat against ball, ball back and forth with your father or your brother. The idea that you can throw a piece of yourself out there into the ether, a ball into the ether, and it comes back to you. This is the promise of everlasting life, that it's not going to end, it's going to come back to you.